The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, or MeitY, has just proposed new rules to tackle perils of AI-generated content, including deepfakes. And this is the first such step the government has taken to regulate AI in the country. What are these proposed rules and where did they come from? Let's find out the answers to these questions in this edition of Eyesight. On Wednesday, the government said that it had invited feedback on the draft amendments to the Information Technology, Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code Rules 2021 under the IT Act. The ministry has invited stakeholder comments by November 6 before finalizing these changes. Now, it said that with the increasing availability of generative AI tools and the resulting spread of synthetically generated information, the potential for misuse has grown significantly, and that such technologies could cause a user harm, spread misinformation, manipulate elections, or impersonate individuals. The draft rules aim to strengthen due diligence for intermediaries, particularly social media intermediaries and big platforms, even as new technologies enable the creation or modification of synthetic content. A social media intermediary is an online platform that mainly lets users create, share, or exchange information with each other. Examples include apps like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and X. So, how does MeitY define synthetically generated information? It says that any information which is artificially or algorithmically created, generated, modified, or altered using a computer resource in a manner that such information reasonably appears to be authentic or true is synthetically generated information. The due diligence it proposes in relation to such content is 1. The platform must clearly mark any AI generated or edited content with a visible or audible label which shows that it's synthetic. The label should cover at least 10% of the screen for videos or images or play during the first 10% of the audio for sound clips. It must be permanent and easy to see or hear so anyone can instantly know the content was AI generated. And 2. Such platforms must not allow anyone to change, hide, or remove these labels. The ministry's draft rules also said that social media platforms must do the following before the content is published. 1. Ask users to declare whether their content is synthetically generated. 2. Use suitable technical methods like automated tools or other systems to check if the user's declaration is correct, depending on the type and source of the content. And 3. If the content is confirmed to be synthetic, the platform must clearly show a visible label. If the platform knowingly allows, promotes, or fails to act against such synthetic content, it will be considered to have failed in its due diligence. The rules said that the platforms are responsible for taking reasonable and proportionate technical steps to verify user declarations. Now, what is the government's rationale behind these proposed rules? The government said that it wants to make the internet open, safe, trusted, and accountable for everyone. It said that it was taking this step because of the rising misuse of deepfakes, false or misleading content, and other unlawful material, and that the proposed changes aim to strengthen the responsibilities of online platforms. Recent viral cases of deepfake videos, audio, and synthetic media show how generative AI can create very convincing false content, often showing people doing or saying things that they never did. And such content can be used to damage reputations, influence elections, or even commit financial fraud. Around the world and in India, policymakers are also worried about synthetic content that is being used to create non-consensual or obscene images and generate fake political or news content. The government said that both houses of parliament have raised concerns about deepfakes and synthetic content, and MeitY has already issued several advisories to social media companies to control such content. It said that these proposed amendments complement the government's continued focus on user safety and accountability following earlier amendments in October 2022 and April 2023. The new amendments will give a clear legal basis for labeling, traceability, and accountability. They also aim to give legal protection to platforms that remove or block synthetic content if they act on user complaints or reasonable efforts. While experts said that such AI rules and regulations are the need of the hour, some also raised issues with the draft rules. The Internet Freedom Foundation, or the IFF, said that while it recognized the real harms of deepfakes and election manipulation, these proposals risked overbroad censorship, compelled speech, and intrusive monitoring. It raised the following issues. First, it said that the definition of algorithmically created, generated, modified, or altered content in a manner that appears authentic or true could capture satire, remix, or benign edits, meaning that the scope of this definition was just too wide. Second, it said that the draft rules would make tools used to create or edit content embed permanent identifiers and show visible or audible labels covering at least 10% of the content, and also ban their removal. It described this as compelled speech, similar to cinema or OTT censorship, saying that it could cause unintended censorship while failing to stop bad actors who won't comply. Third, the new rules would require large platforms to get user declarations, use automated verification, and could push them toward excessive monitoring to avoid penalties. It also links synthetic content to traceability rules, raising privacy and encryption concerns. And lastly, it said that while it appreciated the opportunity of public consultation, the consultation period till November 6 was too short and should be extended. Together, these steps suggest expanding government use of AI without strong legal safeguards in place, it said. Other experts said that while these steps were moves toward accountability, the definition of synthetically generated information was extremely wide. It could lead to excessive labeling, impacting the effectiveness of notices that actually matter. In India's rapidly evolving digital landscape, as also in the world, the significance of stronger rules around synthetic media can't be overstated. The intersection of generative AI and social media presents new risks, from election manipulation to financial fraud and reputational damage. India is also developing a governance framework for responsible AI. For Indian citizens, this means digital content on big platforms is more likely to be transparent in terms of AI use. For online platforms, it signals that the regulatory mechanism is taking a concrete shape. This move aligns with emerging AI and deepfake regulations across the world. The EU's AI Act, passed in 2024, classifies AI systems by risk and mandates transparency for synthetic media. While the US has no single AI law yet, the White House has issued an executive order directing agencies to set watermarking and disclosure standards. The UK and Singapore focus on voluntary responsible AI frameworks, while China enforces strict content labeling for deepfakes under its generative AI measures. Together, these reflect a global shift toward transparency, accountability, and traceability in AI use.